Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is the dress we're going to be making today. First of all, we're just going to draw a straight line like so, and then we're going to come down by 8, which is going to be our armhole line. Okay, just mark that out like so, and then we're going to come down again by 11. Rather, we normally use 10 inches for our bust line, but this person is a little bigger, so we're going to be using 11 inches. And then we're also going to be marking our under bust, which is going to be 16 inches. Okay guys, and then our half cut is going to be 18 inches plus 18 inches including the sewing allowance. It's supposed to be 17 and a half for 18 inches including the sewing allowance. Okay guys, so now I'm just labeling everything. We have the waist, and now we're just going to go right into our measurements. Okay guys, so for the armhole we have 8 inches. We're gonna mark that out on the armhole and also the shoulder line. I'm sorry guys for any noise you're gonna hear. I'm here to get a microphone, so please bear with me, y'all. So now we're going to come down by 1 inch for our shoulder slope. That is really unnecessary. So guys, for the sweetheart neckline, we're just going to draw that armhole slash chest line straight away, and also the bust as well. For the sweetheart neckline, yeah, we're going to put our measurements on the bust line just to ensure that it is enough to carry all of our measurements. Okay guys, so her bust was 40, so we're just going to be putting 10 inches plus 1.5 inch allowance. And then for the waist as well, we have 9 inches, so we're going to be adding our 1.5 inch allowance, and then we're just going to connect those two together. Okay, like so. So now for the sweetheart neckline, we're just going to come up from the bust. Okay, we're going to come up from the bust by however inch you want it. Actually, if you want it lower, if you want it higher, I came down by, or came up rather by 1 and then added 1/2 inch. So like it depends on how low you want your sweetheart to be, how open they want their cleavages to be. Okay guys, now we're just going to make a curve. We're just going to make a curve from this point right here, just like this. Okay guys, and then just connect it to the armhole that we just made, like so. That is your sweetheart neckline already. And so if you can see the picture, we have a ruching at the center of the bust point. Okay guys, so we're just going to do a freehand thingy and come down by maybe however low we want our ruching to be, and then we're gonna go at the top there to add allowances for the ruching, because you cannot do a ruching without adding allowances. Okay guys, so the length of our ruching is going to be 4 inches, and I added 3 inches allowance to create that gathered look. And now I'm just connecting everything to our sweetheart line right there. Once we sew it, it's going to come back to normal, which is the essence of us adding allowance to create that gathered look. So guys, this is what we have. I did not like how the armhole was too low, and I wanted to drop it down, or how the armhole was still high and I wanted to drop it down a bit. So there is me doing that right now. And then reconnecting our sweetheart to the armhole like so. So now we have 9 inches for our armhole rather than 8 inches, guys. So I'm just gonna pin these right away because this fabric is like slippery and might just, I don't know. So we're just gonna pin this together, and now we're gonna go on ahead to cut our fabric. Remember that point right there is 3 inches to be added. You can use 4, you should not use 5. I wouldn't recommend you use 5, but I added 3 inches. So now for the back piece, we're also going to draw a straight line to mark as our starting point. Then we're just going to cut basically everything that we've cut on the front, and we're just adding the only difference is we're going to add our zipper allowance because the dress has a zipper. So we're just going to add 1.25 inches. That is how much I add for my zipper, guys. 1.25 inches. Now we're just going to do that out like so. So if you don't know, 25 inches is for if you have a lining for turning, and then 1 inch is for the zipper allowance. Okay, so now we're just going to mark the points right there. I also made sure I added my allowance for sewing as I was marking. Okay guys, if you can see, I dropped down by ½ an inch just to add ½ an inch. I really don't know if you guys understand, but please just look at it carefully. From the initial straight line, I came down lower to add ½ an inch for the top. Okay, the top of the back piece, in order to sew it. That's going to be my sewing allowance. Okay guys, and you know I already added an allowance at the bottom for the half cut. So basically you can do whatever you want to do. This is what we have. Okay guys, this is what we have. So as you can see, and then I'm just opening the back piece like so. So yeah, this is it guys. So now this is for the bottom of the gown. So we're basically just going to be cutting a skirt that is way simpler than the top of any given outfit at all. So now draw a straight line first, and then we're going to start from 16.5. Half is going to serve as the joining allowance. Remember, we're not starting from 16 directly. Okay, so first of all, I'm just putting in our 9 inches, which is going to serve as our hip line. I used 10 inches for this person rather than 9. Okay guys, so that's for our 9 inches, and then we're just going to put in our measurement, which was about 12 inches. The hip measurement was 12 inches plus 1.5 inch allowance as usual. Okay guys, and also for our waist measurements, we have 8. Okay, this is the front of the skirt part, by the way. So we have 8 inches plus 1.5 inch. So normally I would use a dart, but I wasn't going to even try to use a dart in this dress. So basically what I did was I came in by 1 inch. You know, if we draw a dart, we're going to be removing ½ an 1 inch from both sides, so I just removed my 1 inch. Instead of just sewing it, I just removed it from cutting, okay, and then I added my sewing allowance, which is 1.5 inches. If you try that, you're just going to see that it's still going to work the same way for you. Instead of drawing a dart and making that line visible on your clothing or something. So guys, this is what we have for the waist and hip now. So now for the bottom of the dress, I just calculated my hip measurements and just removed however much allowance I wanted to. I removed 2-inch allowance, I think. So just calculate your hip or your all the measurement, including the allowance, and just remove whatever it is you want to remove. Okay guys, so now I'm just going to connect them together like this. So this is it, lovely people. Now we're just going to go on ahead and cut because we're obviously done, and then it's going to be for the back piece, which is also not even hard at all. We're just going to add our zipper allowance on the back piece, and that's all. I already did that here, and this is the back piece and the front piece already and all done. Okay guys, so now for the armhole. The armhole wasn't hard at all, but also a little bit tricky. Okay, so first of all, we're just going to calculate however long we want the sleeve to be. I've been saying armhole, I meant sleeve, guys, please. So we have 14 inches for the sleeve, and I came up by 1 inch. This is just going to serve as our elastic line. That is where we're going to sew in our elastic. And I also came down by 4 inches, which is going to be our curve mark. Okay, so now we're just going to impute our round armhole. That's our round armhole. And then for this top part, I went in by 7 inches. I wouldn't recommend we go in by 7 inches. I would recommend we go in by 5 inches because I had to remove a lot whilst sewing. Okay, and so I also added an allowance at the top right there and also at the bottom for folding. Okay guys, so that line is where we're going to be putting our elastic in, and then we have our allowance for folding. Okay guys, so this is just all that we have for our sleeve measurements. If there's anything you do not understand, I can do a separate video for this, so please just let me know in the comment section. Thank you guys so much. And I also didn't realize that I did not make a sewing video for the sleeve. I'm so sorry about that, but that will come in a later date or a later video. Thank you so much. So now for our sewing, I mistakenly almost burnt the dress because I was trying to iron it, but we did not burn it, thank you God. So we're just going to calculate our 3 inches mark and also our 4 inches mark. This is the front piece of the dress, guys, the upper part. Okay, and we already have our elastic. I cut my elastic as 3 inches. Okay, and you know we're going to be sewing on a 4-inch mark. Okay, just like try to understand what I'm doing. So just cut your elastic, and we have 6.5 that we're going to be sewing our 3 inches on basically. Okay, so we're just going to go on ahead to do that like so. And then we already know how to sew elastic on clothes because I've done a whole lot of video about that. But for those who don't know, so you're just gonna place your elastic like so, pin it in place. Can pin it as many times as you want to, and then while sewing, you just have to be pulling on it. Okay, just like I'm doing right now. Just pull on it to fit into the space that you have allocated it. So basically guys, this is what we have now for our, so I cut a lining for all of the front pieces, which is the front and the back. I cut is a similar lining for it, okay, which is what I had marked in the beginning, and now this is the lining. So we're also going to do the exact same thing on the lining, okay, and this is it for both sides. We have the lining, we have the main fabric. So now we're just going to turn after sewing all of the elastics in, and we're also closing the armhole, okay. We're going to be closing, okay, no, we're not closing the armhole, so we're just going to sew only the top of the top, okay, of the front piece, basically leaving the armhole. So now we're just gonna go in like so, and do not forget to notch. I forget to notch, which is just cut it a little bit so it feels relaxed and you can easily turn it. That is what notching is for. So just cut it in places. Make sure you do not cut the thread, guys, because that can be really tricky. And then we turn, and now we're just gonna top stitch like so. Remember to also top stitch on the wrong side, which is the lining, and not on the place you want to be your front of a clothing or whatever. You have to top stitch on the wrong side, okay guys. So now this is it for our top stitching, okay guys. So now this is what we have for our top stitch. Now we're just going to go on ahead and iron. But for the back piece, guys, I came in by 1 inch for that back piece. As I'm cutting, I'm adding my sewing allowance. This is because I wanted the back to fit into her spinal cord and not create that bulging kind of look, okay. So you're just going to do go in at the waist right there. We're gonna make it slant. That's just a trick. You have to make it slanted, however allowance you want to take, but you just have to make it in a slanted form. And I also did the same thing for the bottom of the back as well, which is a skirt part. I also went down or went in by a couple of allowances just so everything can align in place like so. Now this is the back piece. We're lining on the back piece because nothing was going to be done on the back piece. Basically no rushing, just sewing your back piece like normal, and closing that part where you're going to put in your zipper allowance. That's just it, guys. And now this is the top of the back piece. We're just going to notch as well, and then do our top stitching like so. We're going to sew the zipper allowance as well. Remember we added 2.5 inches or 1.5 inches rather, so we're going to be sewing 2.5 inches, okay. Do not go above that, if not you might be short on fabric, just so you know, guys. So now we're going to do the same thing for the other side, and here it is, guys. There's water on the fabric because we tried to iron it, but this is how it came out, okay. You see our notching. So now, like I said, I also did the same thing on the bottom of the gown, which is the skirt part. So now we're just going to make that curve in there down to the hip and down to the parts that would not require a zipper basically. Okay, so another thing I'm going to say is that we can add, maybe not take as much allowances as I took in the cutting, okay, in the cutting of that back, because when I made the dress it turned out too tight on her, so I had to like reducing the seams and all of that. So in order to avoid that, just add a suitable amount of allowance and cut out a suitable amount of allowance as well. So now we're just going to join the one of the back to the back piece as the bottom, just like so, and just sew it. We already know how to join. If you don't know already, just please watch some of my videos and then you're just gonna see how I make my clothes. But yeah, this is it for the back of the gown, guys. And we've successfully joined the back pieces together. Now for the front piece, we're also going to join the top to the bottom like so. So yeah, this is what we have. So guys, it was super easy to do, so you can try it if you want to make something like this. So I already folded the ends of the bottoms of the dress, okay, and I joined everything together, and now it's time to fix our zipper. We already know how to make a zipper. If you do not know, I have a video for a zipper
on my YouTube channel actually. So now we're just going to join the sides by the 1.5 inch that we took. Okay, so it was really tight, so I had to go out again, cut it a little bit and then go out. So basically just try to probably not use the allowances you took in the beginning, because a lot of alterations have been done, a lot of allowances have been taken out from the zipper to the dart, so I should have probably just gone in by 1 inch. But then it was only at the top, guys. The hips were perfect, so you can just as well go in with the allowances that you put in for whatever, and then just alter it in the end. So this is the finished look, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please do not forget to like and subscribe.
That is going to help me so much as well as help you as well. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I love you incredibly. Bye.